In this video, I'm going to explain the Google slide presentation that I would like you to create with your group members, basically summarizing what you've learned in the stock market game. So I'm going to go through what I want. I'm very explicit. And then if you have any questions, you can just email me, or as you're working on this on Wednesday or Friday, you can click on our Google Meet if you would rather talk face to face. This is the only assignment that you will have for this entire week, is preparing this along with your group members. It is due next Monday. So the first thing I want is a title slide. Okay, you can name the project, or you can just call it Stock Market Game Project. And then make sure you list all the members of your group. Your portfolio performance. This slide should list the value of the portfolio and your ranking in the game. So if I just click on just any portfolio here and go to the cover or the home page, for this group, their ranking is 137 out of 617. And then their overall percentage return, this group earned a we'll round up 3.5% increase. So that's where you would get that information. Then I want you to go in and I want you to summarize the investments in your portfolio. So the best way to get to that information is you go to account holdings and you scroll down, and you will get a list of the investments and then the percentage, either gains or losses. So you do not have to talk about every single one of your investments, but I would like you to feature, usually what students do is they'll talk about a few of the investments that did very well as a few of the investments that did poorly. Okay, so however you want to organize those 3 or 4 slides is completely up to you. Then I would like you to go in and look at news articles about the investments that you're talking about up here. So 3 news articles on specific companies that you've invested in. And then I'd like you to find 1 news article on the economy. Okay, make sure you cite your articles in your slide presentation. It's fine to have your citings at the end of the presentation. The benchmark. You are going to compare your overall portfolio percentage return to either the Dow or the S&P 500. So the Dow for our time frame since March 13th has been up 1%. And the S&P 500 has actually been up about 3%. So even though within the time frame since March 13th, as you know, things have wildly fluctuated. If we look at where the Dow was on March 13th and where it was as of last Friday, that calculates to a 1% return. So did your portfolio beat the Dow? The one that I just talked about, they had a 3% return, so they would have actually beat both the Dow and the S&P 500. Okay, so however you want to organize that information. And I'm going to show you sometimes what students will do is they'll go back to their your spreadsheet, and if you're going to use the Dow, you could highlight all of your numbers for the Dow, and then you could create a chart. So if we highlight the numbers in one column, and then you go to insert over here, a chart, a line chart. I'm going to just use a basic one here. Here you get the line chart, and you could use this as the background for your slide, and then you would input how your portfolio did over the course of this last quarter. Then what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to have some kind of a conclusion. What did your group learn? Um, what lessons did you learn about the stock market? As you know, incredibly volatile in the short run. I'm going to grade you on how your slides look, so fonts, graphics, colors. Even though you're working together and collaborating as a group, it should look like you were all working side by side. So in other words, I shouldn't see a wild variation in colors and fonts between different slides. Make sure you're using different investment vocabulary within the presentation, diversification, risk return, etc. And that should do it. Again, if you have any questions, just email me.